So yesterday, Conor McGregor posted this video which showed a Romanian man wielding a knife in the streets of Ireland. Now, according to reports, this man has now been arrested and is facing 5 years in prison. Now, first we're going to take a look at the footage, then I'm going to tell you the entire story, who this guy is, what his name is, but also, this guy also did one of the most disrespectful things that you could ever do to the Irish people. But first, here's the footage of the Romanian man wielding a knife in the streets of Ireland. So this is the guy in the streets of a small town called Carrickmacross in Monaghan Island. There's actually no audio for this footage, but as you can see here, you can see the guy holding a knife. He's holding it up to a person sitting in their car who's parked up at the traffic lights. Now, just in short, Conor said a small Irish town in the spotlight recently due to the uncovering of government contracts administered to one Seamus McCaney in the region of 100 million euros upwards to house individuals like this, deranged, knife-wielding one below, in hotels and buildings across this town and multiple towns in Ireland. So essentially, Conor says that there's a lot of people like this guy in Ireland, basically wielding knives, etc. And they are all living in housing projects that are being funded by the government. So this is another video as well. I just want to show you a separate angle of the incident here as well. And this was posted by somebody in Ireland outside of Roma restaurant in Carrickmacross Island. And you can see the guy here like holding his knife up, looking at someone in the car, having some sort of conversation, and then walking off. Now, the crazy thing about this, I'm going to get to the full story in a second, but the crazy thing about this is, if you look at this on Google Maps, you can actually see this was outside of a restaurant called Roma Takeaway, and you can see on the video here, it actually says there on the video, Roma Takeaway, but you can see this on Google Maps. This is where it happened, this is the exact street, this is the traffic lights where the car stopped, and if you turn around, look what is standing right there. A Catholic church right there. And you can see in the video here, this is not like clickbait or whatever. You can actually see the church behind the guy right there. You can see the church there. So this guy literally did the most disrespectful thing that you could possibly think of. Literally pulled a knife out right outside of a church and threatened someone with a knife right outside of a church. Information has been released about this guy by the media, and it says Romanian man 28 remanded in custody following Carrick knife wielding incident. Now the article says a 28-year-old man arrested following a knife wielding incident in Carrickmacross on Sunday evening has been remanded in custody. David Covescu, of Romanian nationality, whose address was given as RD Road, Marga Cross, Carrickmacross, appeared before Monaghan District Court today, Monday, on charges relating to alleged possession of an article contrary to the Firearms and Offensive Weapons Act 1990. He is accused of being in possession of a flick knife. Well, we blatantly saw he had a flick knife. He is accused of being in possession of a flick knife and possessing a knife with a blade sharply pointed while up Main Street, Carrickmacross on Sunday evening on April 27. Mr. Covescu is also charged under the Public Order Act with engaging in threatening or abusive behaviour arising from the same alleged incident, footage of which has been widely circulated on social media. He was refused bail by Judge Raymond Finnegan and remanded in custody to appear at Cavan District Court this Thursday on May 1st. GDA Sheehy also stated that the defendant was caught red-handed, that the charges could entail a 5-year prison sentence. So this guy is facing 5 years in prison, and he was also refused bail by the courts and is due to appear in court on May 1st, which is just a couple of days away. Now, as I say, this guy literally pulled a knife out outside of this restaurant and outside of a church, which is the most disrespectful thing that you could ever do to the Irish people. This is a Catholic church, but not only that, if you just go down about 100 yards down this street, this building here is a high school. Now, luckily enough, this was actually a Sunday, so these kids were not in school, but this guy literally pulled a knife out right here, literally less than 100 meters from a high school, which again is the most disrespectful thing that you could ever do. And you know, this is crazy to think that this guy is being housed by the Irish government, and thankfully He's been refused bail and he's now looking at 5 years in prison. Now, this is an actual picture of the guy here. He's wearing like a Los Angeles Lakers jacket and outside of the police station being taken in by police. Now, this guy's solicitor actually gave a statement as well, giving some insight into who he is and where he actually came from. It says solicitor Royce and Courtney said her client was living in the area for 8 to 9 years and had work at farming up until recently when he became unemployed. His explanation for the knife had been that he was carrying it for his own protection. He was also very drunk and didn't even remember the incident, Miss Courtney added. So he's claiming that he was extremely drunk and doesn't remember pulling the knife out, which makes him even more dangerous, because if you're the type of person that drinks alcohol and you don't know what you're doing, God knows what could have happened with that knife if somebody actually got out of the car or he actually came into contact with someone whilst he was holding that knife. Now, this article, it actually reveals this guy's address as well. It says Ardee Road, Marga Cross, Carrickmar Cross. So I actually looked at it on Google Maps. Now, some people would say this is me doxing his address or whatever, but his actual address isn't on there. So I'm just going to look at the road anyway and see what it looks like. So if we drop down here onto Ardee Road in Carrickmar Cross, it's quite a nice area. It's quite a beautiful area, some very, very nice houses and some nice properties. This looks like €1 million property, and there's some very expensive properties here. You've got a Lidl superstore there. But if you keep going up this road, and this actually looks like a very nice area. There's some very nice properties around here. There's some farms as well. You can see like a lot of farmland. I'm assuming this is where the guy used to work. So these farmers actually gave him a job. He's lived here for 9 years, and after living here for 9 years, being employed here for 9 years, he decided to pull a knife out and threaten people in the street, which is the most disrespectful thing you can do. But not only that, actually pull a knife out outside of a church and right near a high school. I'm glad this guy is facing 5 years in prison. I hope he gets longer than that actually, because he does deserve to go to prison for a long time. People like this cannot be trusted in the streets, considering he's been working for 9 years and now he's pulled a knife out in the streets. Something else as well I just want to bring to your attention, the reel that Conor McGregor posted of this incident has now got 11.4 million views, which I'm glad to see, because this probably put the media and the government under pressure to actually arrest this guy, because I think if this video didn't go viral, they probably wouldn't have paid any attention to it and they probably wouldn't have even arrested him. And this guy would probably be still free, roaming the streets of Carrickmar Cross by now, still living in his home, still living a good life. And God knows what would have happened in that situation. So yeah, I'm glad to see that Conor McGregor posted this video and drew some attention and shed some light on this incident, and I'm glad to see this guy is locked up. I hope he doesn't get released from jail actually. I hope he stays in prison for a while. Hopefully he'll think about what he's done, and if the Irish people actually get what they want, this guy will probably be deported from the country and will never be allowed back to Ireland ever again. But I doubt that is the case. He'll probably get put in Irish prison and then he'll probably get released and then he'll probably be put back in this community. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But yeah, I'm glad this guy has been locked up. I'm glad this guy is facing 5 years in prison, and hopefully he gets a little bit longer in prison. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing, consider liking this video, and consider sharing it as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.